This week's letter for our letter bucket is the letter P. This is our capital letter P. When you write a capital letter P, you start your letter at the top. Big line down, frog hop to the top, little belly to the middle. This is our lowercase p. Lowercase p looks exactly like the capital P, except when you write it, you start in the middle. Big line down into the basement, frog hop to the top, little curve around to the middle. Let's see what we have that begins with the p sound. I have a pig. Pig begins with p. I have a pumpkin. Pumpkin begins with p. I have a pan. Pan begins with p. I have a pickle. Pickle begins with p. I have a piece of pizza. Pizza begins with p. This is even pepperoni and pepper pizza. They all begin with the p sound. Finally, I have a paintbrush. Paintbrush begins with p. Remember, our story has to have a character. Our character is a person or an animal. That's right, you spotted the pig. That's our character for this week. Our story also has to have a setting. The setting tells us when and where. Where does a pig usually live? That's right, he usually lives on the farm. So our setting is going to be on the farm. And we had lots of things that grow in the garden. So we're going to make it a summer day when the garden can be growing. So one warm, sunny summer day, Pig decided to walk out and check his garden. He went outside and saw that his garden had nothing growing in it. It was empty. He went back inside his house and said, I wonder what needs to happen in order for my garden to get something to grow. Later that day, it started to rain, and Pig said, oh, yay! That's right, my garden needs some water in order to grow. I sure hope it's starting to grow now. Later the next day, the sun was shining, and Pig said, oh, yes, I remember now. It needs water and sunlight in order for things to grow in my garden. 1 week later, Pig went outside to check his garden, and he noticed a cucumber growing in his garden that he could turn into a pickle, and he noticed a pumpkin growing in his garden. He thought they looked so beautiful that he might just want to paint a picture of them. So he got his paintbrush and his paints and his paper, and he started painting a beautiful picture showing what might happen to make his garden grow. He painted leaves at the bottom of his picture. He painted a sunshine up in the corner. On the other side of the paper, he painted some raindrops. And then he painted his pumpkin and his pickle, and he painted a rainbow in between the rain and the sunshine. When he finished painting his picture, he picked the pumpkin and the cucumber and went inside. Now, in order to turn a cucumber into a pickle, you have to add some special things to it. So he added some special things to that and let it sit in the refrigerator. And then he decided to cook his pumpkin in his pan and turn it into a pumpkin pie. While he was waiting for those two things to get ready, he sat down and ate himself a delicious piece of pepper and pepperoni pizza. And when his pumpkin was finished, he turned it into pumpkin pie and ate his pickle and his pumpkin pie for dessert. That's the end of our story today. Thanks for listening.